Hello you guys, I am Skylar and I have been getting flooded with all kinds of crazy questions as I just announced my surrogacy journey. So I thought I would answer the most commonly asked questions. Number one, is it my baby, my genetics? The answer is no. I am grateful for people who can do egg donations and grateful for people who did traditional surrogacy when it was available, or that was the only thing available, but that is not something I could do. I am not genetically related to this baby at all. It's actually really, really cool, the science that goes behind it. When they transfer the baby to me, it's actually already an embryo. So it's a little baby in a little petri dish, and the egg and the sperm are already fertilized to make a baby. And they just transfer that into me. So it's really, really cool. You're not supposed to do any pregnancy tests, but obviously people are sneaky and like to know if they can see two lines. So a lot of times after the transfer, 4 days after, people are testing and getting positive lines. So that's how far along you are when the baby's already inside of you. It's not genetically related to me at all. Another huge question that I get asked is my husband okay with it? Like, your husband's cool with that? Like, that's crazy. I actually had a really great experience with my husband. My husband was on board from the second I told him that this was something I wanted to do. Of course, I was frank and upfront. This is something I've known that I've wanted to do. So I told him about it long before we ever got married. But there are so many good tips and stuff that you can bring up to your husband, and I will have to bring him onto a video so that way he can kind of explain his perspective, and I'll kind of give you some tips and tricks on how I kind of brought it up, because it is kind of a weird subject, and a lot of times when you say I'm gonna carry somebody else's baby, all men hear is like another man's sperm is going inside of me, which is not the case at all. So yes, that was a frequently asked question. Another question that keeps getting thrown my way is like, what's the process? What's the requirements? Things like that. The list of the process and requirements is actually quite long, so I can't really dish it all out in one video. But pretty much, you have to have birthed your own baby, and you have to be raising that baby. Couldn't have been a stillborn birth or anything like that. You've got to be able to pass the medical exams, because obviously somebody is entrusting you to carry their most prized possession. I did get to write out a whole list of what I expect out of my intended parents and what my boundaries are. So it's not like a lot of people are like, well, can they tell you what to eat and what to do and when to sit and when to stand and all kinds of things like that? And the answer is no. But they do align our morals. So if somebody wanted somebody that had not so active of a lifestyle, obviously I wouldn't have been the surrogate for them. You have to go over things like termination and what if something happens where I have to have a hysterectomy, or what if something happens where I'm on the table about to die? What if you get blessed with triplets or something like that? What are you going to do about that? Selective reduction gets brought up. All kinds of topics that you've never really thought about, because obviously you don't think about those things when you're pregnant with your own baby, because those things only happen. Those things only ever come up if something happens. So it's definitely been more emotional, like to have to stop and like, okay, what would I do in those situations? There's just a lot of what ifs, and you have to play the what if game. In some bigger than life decisions are like, I don't know how I'll feel until I'm in that moment. So anyways, that is definitely something you want to prepare yourself for if you are starting the journey to be a surrogate, because it is such an awesome journey though. So where do I go from here is the next question. So I signed all my legal documents, not all of them. I signed my first legal document today, which pretty much just says that I will do certain things. An example is if the first transfer of the embryo does not work, I have to be willing to do up to 3 transfers. I have to be willing to stay with this agency. If these parents decide that they want to have another sibling later on down the line, and that's something I'm interested in, that if they try to contact me and not go through the agency, I'll let them know. Things like that. So it was really pretty simple compared to what's gonna come, but at the same time it was like my first like, whoa, okay, because it was a lot of pages of going through, but it just excites me. So I just, yesterday I went and got my drug screening done. So I peed in a cup, pretty simple as that. And then today was the contract. Next week I'll actually get to video call my intended parents, and they'll also get my profile, everything about me. I've already received their profile. They are absolutely beautiful. I did not continue to go through through intended parents. I knew that I trusted my agency that they'd pick somebody for me, and overall, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help somebody have a baby, and I don't want to be super duper picky as far as qualities or looks or things like that. As long as my moral standpoints align with theirs, I didn't want to scroll through and be like, oh, I don't like the way they look. Oh, I don't like the way they sound. I don't like what he does for a living. That's not really any of my business. I just am here to help somebody make a baby. So as long as we connect and click and all of our morals line up, that's all that really matters. But yeah, so obviously I'll keep you guys updated on the steps and process that are going to be to come. But as far as I know right now, after we do the video call with the intended parents, I will then do a medical screening where I do an ultrasound, blood work, all kinds of crazy things, and I'll also go through a psych exam, so I have to make sure that I'm not completely mentally crazy. Hopefully I'll pass that. If I get past that part, super worried about it, I will then start IVF treatments. So pretty much it's an injection. It just kind of, I think, depends on what my body will need based on how many injections I'll have to have. I've heard you'll have to have one in the belly and one in the butt. But I'll take those medications for as long as need be. I've heard them anywhere from 10 days all the way up to a month and a half. So I'm not really sure how long I will need to do the injections to get prepped, but I'll do the injections and then we will transfer the baby. Somewhere along in there, obviously I'll meet with a lawyer. We'll get contracts drawn up and make everything legal. I'm not really sure where that fits in the timeline, but like I said, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. But yeah, that's kind of the base of what I know is to come. The meds, the psych exam, lots of ultrasounds and blood work. I've heard that they're gonna draw so much blood that I'm gonna think I'm gonna die. No, not really, but lots and lots of blood drawn. So that is all I have for you guys for now. I will be creating a video for my husband to sit in with me. So if you have any questions for him, you can put them down below in the comments, or message me on Instagram or Facebook, whatever is easiest for you. But I am super excited about this journey, and yeah, let it begin.